I hover in the overwhelming pressure of the Pacific Ocean. Nothing feels better than being underwater. It's quiet, peaceful, and I think that silence is the secret to life. Sometimes it's best to see nothing at all and just appreciate the moment.
Oliver, you done sightseeing?
Liam's voice cut through the prior silence of his speakers. I grunt at my partner Liam.
Just give my prayers to the sea gods, you know? Boy, you're crazy.
Maybe I am, but our mission is way more fun and crazier. This science group hired me and Liam to help with uncovering these ruins off the coast of Indonesia. Called the Poseidon Project, it's a dive into a newly uncovered civilization that has never been seen before. My pal Liam and I were divers for a living. I was excited to be participating in this. It's way more exciting than teaching diving lessons to old people. What I did not expect was the TV crew, but the leader of the operation, Mr. Ashbury, wants to document this amazing discovery as much as he wants to uncover it. Obviously, it pays for a part of the excursion, so I cannot complain. I swim over the grass, popping out of the crevices and corals. These blades of grass wave at me in their strong current. I stop over the darkness that digs into the earth, revealing the 5-mile ravine crossing this part of the sea's bed. The cameras move on long arms and toward the edge of tomorrow under the control of the operator. They have fog lights and have been a great help in cutting through a path for us. Liam dives under me and over the edge. The fog light blasts into the ravine and Liam slithers down it. My flashlight is on my arm sleeve and can barely reach further than several feet, but it is still useful. This forgotten civilization reveals itself through the husks of the buildings that cross the length of the sandy floor. These buildings are so different, like some strange cubic painting. They shift from the odd circular impressions that seep into the metal to the larger bastion constructions with sculptures of animal craft within. The most amazing thing is that these were not built with stone, but metal. And not just any metal. It is titanium, and Mr. Ashbury dated them to the time of 1200 BC. This is truly a one-of-a-kind discovery, for titanium was not mined in those times, much less used as a building material, especially to the extent that this ancient city was built up. We shouldn't have even found this place, but it was tucked away nicely and neatly out of sight in the dark depths of this ravine. I dip into those shadows and let them overcome me. My light glows and reveals my steps into the streets of this place. Ashbury cannot tell us who built this city yet, but we're gonna find out for sure.
Hey, you see the tower?
I look up as I bounce into the circle. Unknown symbols circle the length of it, while the center column is a huge rectangular prism. It is laden with deep impressions of a language we know little about. Under the tower is a huge enclave of rock where much of this mysterious city has fallen into. Many sections of it have been sent to various parts of the ravine, and it is hard to piece much of it together with its instability. Liam stands under the shadow of the tower.
You see this?
Looks amazing. Bring the camera around. Record this. I'll collect the artifacts. We get to work doing our various tasks. I pick up vases, jars, and sharp instruments like spears, many of which are broken. These weapons are quite intricate in their design, with symbols in an amber tint. An oscillating sound buzzes through my speaker. I blink in surprise and turn around to watch the darkness. Something made that sound. But what was it? There isn't anyone here except the diving team and a random tuna fish shooting past me. I hear the distant cracks of the steps we make, but the oscillating screech phases in and out of my earshot like some symphony. My eyes catch sight of a twinkling light in the darkness. What is that? My feet move on their own. I turn up the power of the flashlight. It reveals a room that collapsed in upon itself with deep lines breaking out from the center. The center holds a stone pillar. My body shivered from the frigid atmosphere that hit me. It was tough for me. Around that pillar are spheres engraved with strange inscriptions. I touch the pillar and see the dust transfer onto my glove.
Hey, are you done?
Liam's voice buzzes into my speaker. I reach down and grab two metallic-like spheres.
Yeah, let me wrap these up.
Once we're done, we swim out of the dark corridors of this place. We reach the base complex, which is partially under the sea. I swim up into the diving platform. Liam comes out behind me and pulls off his mask to gasp.
Whew, glad to be back.
I stroke to the edge and pull myself out. My gear is taken off in the changing room as the camera's trolley moves up the platform and breaks the water's roof. The crew disperses through different areas of the base after they clear the artifacts from the carriage bay. We go below deck together to grab some refreshments. Everywhere I go, these cameras be following me. I punch Liam, my co-star, and pal, on the shoulder. On cue, the camera team roll in ready to detail our conversation, which makes me wonder if this is all necessary. Recording while we're swimming around the remnants of the fallen civilization is one thing, but these guys are pressing us even when we're relaxing. The only alone time I can get is in my bedroom, and that's not much. He laughs and scratches the back of his head.
It's whatever. I don't give a damn about all that. I just want to hit the water. After this, who knows? We might become famous.
It won't be us people will be talking about. It'll go hard for those conspiracy believers out there, and we'll be paid a ton of money if we can keep this on the air.
Oh yeah? Ain't gonna lie. The city could never be built by humans. You see those metal streets? It has to be extraterrestrials.
I'm not sure if that is true, but a part of me will not be surprised if it is. Looking at the civilization, the scale and extravagance it was built with far exceeded any ancient civilization on this earth. I wondered how they ended up at the bottom of the sea. How did their city fall apart like that? The metal streets should be impossible to break. There are a lot of unanswered questions. Ashbury's theory is that an earthquake or tsunami hit their paradise island. Whether it was the lost city of Atlantis or something entirely different, Ashbury wasn't sure. All he could say was that it was most likely a powerful city-state. He even said that it may have been this civilization that was infamously called the Sea People, that was notorious for the destruction of the Hittite and Assyrian empires. Though that legend indicated humans, specifically the people of Egypt, defeated them. Who knows what happened? Oh, I'm going to sleep.
All right. See you later.
He nods his head, taking a sip of his soda. I go to my bedroom and sleep for an hour before loud knocking shakes me out of my sleep. When I open the door, I see Liam.
Hey, Ashbury's calling for you. You got to check this out. Something you brought back might have hit the jackpot.
Which pottery could I have brought back that got him hot and bothered? As I'm about to find out, it is the metallic-looking balls, and they're glowing on the table when I enter the room. The pretty average-looking dude in a t-shirt and shorts is Mike Ashbury. His hair is long and straight, brushing his neck. He's got a brown and gray Hulk Hogan mustache, just not the Hulk Hogan body type. He says, "Took you long enough. Where'd you find this?" He waves at the cameraman and they come closer, so he made sure that they do not miss this moment. It felt impersonal to me. It was a room that was some distance away from the ritual circle. Thinking about it now, the thing that I remember the most was how cold it was. Other than that, it looks like many of the rooms we saw in the houses and buildings. Nothing special. Ashbury nods his head as he turns back to the spheres. the light that is glowing comes from the inner impressions carving inside of it. Were they glowing like this when you found them? He asks. Hell no. I'm still wondering myself what this is about. Maybe the paint inside the grooves is affected by the open air. Maybe. I'm gonna do some analysis on it. Are you willing to go out and check that place again? Like right now? His lips curled into a smile. Yes, the crew wants to see the place. They never got any footage of the site where you've gotten them from. I was too mesmerized by the place to even remember them. But more than that, a part of me was wary of bringing them there. Something about that place really strikes an uncompromising chord with me. I pointed the glowing balls. What do you think they are? Ashbury says, not sure. We didn't have to wait long to see what it really was, for the inscriptions stopped glowing. Everyone stares at it. That is when that oscillating sound penetrates my consciousness. I suddenly felt that I do not want to be here anymore. All right, tell the camera crew to saddle up. I'm leaving in 5 minutes. I spin out of the room and my stomach starts lurching, but I push down the developing bile. The sickness that is plaguing me hurts my head, but I keep moving. I go below the base and swim up to a sliding door attached to the underbelly of the vessel. It creaks open, and we swim down into the chamber. We went from the base and into the ravine. I lead the way with the camera close behind, then I move from the ritual circle to the hidden enclave. As soon as I step in, the cold arrests my limbs. My diving suit is not doing a good job of protecting me right now. The camera's fog light blasts behind me. I can see this room more clearly now. My eyes widen to see those paintings high on the roof. Figures, animalistic in form, coat the surface. Whoever these people were, they loved their animals. I tilt my head and mutter, "Hold up." I glide across the dusty divide and reach a door that is barely seen, for it lays behind a large column and lingers off the edge of a deeper drop. My hand presses into a hole, and I pull the large door open as if it is on a slide. It creaks open, and the ocean floor seems to split apart. I walk into a new room with a transparent roof. The transparent roof has an ice-like structure, but if I am to take a guess, I'd say that it is stronger than any ice that has ever existed. And that's not even the worst part. There are strange statues and paintings of these odd-looking figures doing various activities. Some figures look like they are tilling the land, while others are at war with paintings that look like us humans. This is bewildering. A haunting, scraping sound echoes throughout this space. I hear yelps from the cameraman behind me. My eyes narrow and flick around. My mind and body detach for a moment, and I forget that I am standing in a decrepit city. The memories in that city are not dead historical references as I thought. When that oscillating sound hits me again, my eyes almost close and I do not catch the shadow in front of me. I drift back in surprise. A tall creature with lanky arms hovers toward me. My heart stops, and my chest bursts in congestion. I freeze, unsure of what to do. Is this some kind of sea creature? As it moved toward the center of the room, I witnessed its horrendous glory. Its movements are slower and ghost-like, but there's no mistake. This is in fact the strange figure in the paintings on the wall. The hand has web-like suckers gesturing toward me. It reminds me of the tentacles of an octopus. Then that arm shoots over my head. I spin around to see the cameraman rising up as that arm wraps around his neck and chokes him. The camera arm falls over and hits the ground. Breaking glass and the resounding thud of metal shakes me out of my insanity. My heart hasn't been suffocated yet, so between it and my brain, they're the only thing I care about. It pounds beneath my skin. I never swam so fast in my life. Streams of the sea flow around me in aggression as bubbles swept up from my breaststroke. Those bubbles do not hide the shapes around me. Figures are swimming up and surround me. My chest beats with a blasting tempo. There is a myriad of these creatures, and some face one direction as they surround the base. Lines appear on the ocean floor. Those lines, I realize, are cracks. The wider the cracks expand, the louder the oscillating noise, until something akin to thunder ripples the water. It is from these cracks that these strange creatures swim out from. I do not look back, and keep going toward the goal. The waves of the sea push out from my stroke. They become mere dots to me. The faster they pass by me, the better. It's surprising how quickly I reach the complex, despite how slowly they're moving. It's like there's a magnetic source pulling me in. The closer I get, the more my body swells with pressure and heat. I need to warn them. With my arms still free, I grab hold of the ladder leading up the tunnel. It is close now. All I have to do is get up the chamber. I'm not sure, but it's my only hope. Clutching onto grooves inside the bar, despite it tearing into the tips of my fingers, I close my eyes and wish for a miracle. But despair hits me when my fingers rip off and go back down into the water. Arms wrap around me. I try to escape. My lower half stretches and my back pulls apart. The helmet cracks. Gritting my teeth as my tears find a home in the salt water, I use every last bit of strength I have to keep hanging on. My shoulders push outward and break the hold on me. I swim up and grab the bar again. The surface is as slippery as hell now. Water spews through the cracks in the helmet's glass and hits me in the nose. It's a struggle just trying to not let go. Pressing my lips together and filling my cheeks up with air, I strain against the defeat quickly approaching. The middle of my hand tingles and my heart plummets. This is it. I can't hold on any longer. A cry shatters my peace before I shoot up out of the water and onto the platform's metal-glazed floor. I gasp and with a start pull off my helmet. That's when I sit up, and that ugly creature surges out of the sea. In the glare of the lights above me, its eyes are dark blue, but with the head of a meat-eating carnivore. I am not staying here to say hi. It growls at me. My oxygen tank is thrown off. I run out of the room and turn the metal door into its face. The door shakes from the force of its ram and sent me to the ground. I drop to the ground and glare up in surprise at the door vibrating from that wild beast's vigorous attempt to kill me. Ashbury. I need to get to him. I shout, "Help!" There is no reply. The underwater base is not that big. They should have heard me. I walk away from that door and try to find any of the other workers. That is when I notice how silent this place is. Where is everyone? I swallow my fear and keep going. The further I go, the more water I tread. This place is taking on so much water. I need to get out of here, but not without the others, and definitely not the way I came through. Ashbury is the first person I am going to, so seeing anyone else will be nice, but unnecessary. So I go to his last known location, to find the hall leading to that room in a mess. A mangled crust of the metal door and broken shards of metal lay on the floor. At this point, I don't know if I should be afraid or not. My heart blasts in my head a sound worthy of a cruel melody. I step forward regardless. When I reach around the bend, I see blood. A lot of it. But nobody is in there. Not even those balls with their strange inscriptions are here. I don't like this at all. Leaving that room, I turn into the opposite end of the hall and see the blood trail. I can use that. Following it is easy enough, but the surrounding screeches and groans of this failing base make me more anxious. Every step I take, the louder they get. It's like those things are trying to break in. I need to get out of here long before that. The blood trail ends up being quite important, for as soon as I turn around a door, my eyes lock onto a sight that stops my heart. Ashbury is lying against the wall with a bloody wound along his neck. "Ashbury!" I rush to him.
"You came back,"
he says weakly. "Who did this to you?"
"You tell me. I don't know what it was. It broke into the base and attacked us. I can say one thing about that creature. It wants those artifacts you brought in. They took one. Liam has the last one."
"Why would they want that?" Ashbury groans as he stands up.
"Only one way to find out."
We get out of that room and hear a loud screech. It was a loud and creaking groan, so Ashbury and I froze in the hall. We try to make no sound, but that is hard with Ashbury's restrained breaths and the drips of water from my scuba suit. Nothing comes out of the dark corners of this place, and we continue on our way. Light flickers as we make soft but hurried steps. I look behind every open door to make sure we don't get a surprise, because those unnerving sounds are too close to us. We move quickly to the highest chamber to avoid the rising water. That is where we see Liam standing on a glass floor over what is the drop chamber, which happens to be one of our exits. The underground base rolls as the increasing supply of water destabilizes it. This is not good as I slide from side to side. My hands push against the wall to prevent myself from tumbling over. The growls we hear are not from a dog, that is for sure. I shout, "Liam!" Liam turns to us, and that is when I see the ball in his hand. The floor shakes under him when something hits it. That oscillating sound hits me again. It makes me blink, but I shake my head and throw it off.
"Get out of here!"
Liam shouts. "I'm not leaving you. Come on, walk to us." Liam gestures toward us. We turn around and look up at the overpowering height of this creature. What kind of nightmare did I drop into? This one pushes me over and smacks Ashbury. Ashbury crashes into the wall and falls to the ground. Blood seeps from his head. The base's destabilization gets worse. My head slams against the wall with every turn. The lights spark and blink before going out. Liam cries out, but I can't see him. I want to tell him to run, but my tongue twists. If I try to speak right now, I will bite my own tongue off. I know it. Keeping my hands above my head, I try to steady myself and secure my neck. I pretend I'm just rolling in a barrel, a hard barrel that keeps slamming. My brain knocks loose. I feel something trickle from my nose. It was blood. After what seems like a lifetime, the underground base stops rolling. There's a ringing in my ears. I can't tell which way is up or down as I scramble around to find my feet. My hand is wet with something sticky, and I already know what it is. "Liam?" My voice shakes as I crawl up, trying to find my way through this annoying place. The pipes are loose and cracks form along the wall. When I do manage to get up, I slip and slide forward, skidding on my heels.
Leave me alone! Let me go! Shit! Let me go!
That is when I see that monster holding up Liam by the throat. "Liam!" I gasp. "Liam! Buddy!"
What the hell is this thing?
He spits in the creature's face. I get up and rush with difficulty through the slanting hall.
Help! Help! Oh, shit!
He screams.
Oliver! Help me!
"Liam!" A snap stops my heart, legs, and hope. My eyes widen as the creature drops Liam to the ground. It turns around with the ball in hand, and its eyes glaring through me. A blue light floods the hall. Water blasts through the wall and soaks the hall. Liam's face streams lines of blood, and he keeps sputtering even with his neck broken by this murdering beast. The creature's free hand twirls as it gestures at us. Rage ensues me as the raising water grips at my knees and threatens to drown my stupid desire for revenge. Ashbury groans before easing himself up on his hands. He blinks once, twice, before focusing on everything. His eyes widen.
We're in deep shit.
I can't fight this thing, and as it turns away from me and nestles that ball, no, that egg in its bosom, it is clear it's not interested with us anymore. Ashbury's and my safety is paramount right now. You must have some extra diving gear somewhere in here, don't you? If the base is prepped for attacks, you have to be prepped for survival, too, I ask.
You're right. We do.
Mike attempts to stand before crying out in pain.
I think my left leg's broken.
The haunting scraping sound echoes as I help Ashbury up. We gotta go. The blue light becomes blinding and burns through the walls with a bang. I froze, and that's when a torrent of water smashes apart everything. The water comes at us like a comet. As if in slow motion, my body passes by Liam's. Ashbury gets swept away by the water, and my body slams into something hard before whirling into a tempest. For a moment, I think I might be dead. I blink my eyes and try to be positive about my arms and legs compressing under the weight of my descent. My lips close as the salt burns the back of my throat. Not like this. My lips tight as a sealer has not given up, and I still have some energy left. I can't die here. My heart leaps off a cliff. It leaps up so fast I think it's propelling upward and out of the water. I follow it. With my arms swinging at my side and my legs together, I push up with all my might. I look around me and see them. Those long creatures. It's an army of them. All of them are swimming out from the crux of the collapsing base I once called home. These must be the residents of this forsaken city, and all this time they lived. The footage of these creatures will never see the light of day. They will always remain a mystery. But I am not becoming history like them, so I swim frantically to the top. The warmth of the sun on the water promises me freedom. Stunned and filled with relief, pure adrenaline pushes me to the surface where I burst through with a smile and tears falling down my face. The smile disappears thanks to a wave of gloom when I find that I'm in the literal middle of the ocean. Only the long, complex metal connection lines are left standing, and they are breaking apart right now. Its groans creep me out. The ship we used to get here is nowhere to be found, and I don't want to be in this water for a moment longer and give those freaks a chance to take away my life. There appears to be thousands of miles to the shore. A part of me wished I asked about how far we were, but nobody expected this would happen. Liam is gone, and so is Ashbury. My eyes close in frustration as the memories of them curtail my breathing. I'm exhausted, but there's something to be said about being able to survive underwater. I just need to keep going. If I keep going, I'll get to land faster. It's a mad idea, but what else can I do? Steadying my breathing, I begin paddling as hard as I can. The sun bakes me to a crisp as I tune out all the noise. From the splashes hitting me to the cries of faraway birds flying in way more freedom than myself. I cannot give up, though. It's dark out now. My body gets heavy. When I get to the shore, I'm going to have to figure out what was going on, just after I tell everyone what the hell happened to Liam and the film crew. I'm starting to sound like a crazy person, repeating all the things I saw in my head. Just keep going. Just keep swimming. I'll get there soon. Soon. Keep moving forward. Suddenly, pressure wraps around my waist and dangling legs. My heart rises to my throat. They're back for sure. My legs kick faster. The water explodes in my face and my eyes flutter from the mass of blood and darkness. Water crashes into my face and their hands beneath me wrap around my legs. My eyes met the creatures below me. These ones carry metal spears in their tentacle-like arms, while the other arms are trying to drag me to my death. They probably do not want any witnesses. I'm kicking and fighting, panicking. Whatever luck has allowed me to stay in the water this long alive is about to run out. No one, not even an experienced diver such as myself, can survive underwater forever. I use my arms now, like wings, to allow me more pushing power against their pulling. But it's useless. When I look down, I see they're still on the ocean floor, and their long arms stretch like rubber bands, wrapping around me like a spider wrapping me in its web. These scrawny things are strong as hell. Their wrapping hands climb my waist. I pull at their limbs. They circle me like I'm a maypole, only they're not dancing. They're stone-faced, standing still, observing me in fascination as they crack through my bones. My head expands, and my lungs tighten until I'm sure I can't hold my breath in anymore. Reflex prompts me to open my mouth and take in some air. There's nothing but water. It fills me up before filtering out through my nose in tiny bubbles. That's when the pain hits, and it is cruel to my body. My chest is on fire. I blink a few times in shock before my still beating heart impales me. My lungs collapses upon itself. I'm running through my list of regrets. The biggest one, taking this job. A screech shatters my focus as the preceding howling noises rise from the water. I become still, screaming as my body slips deeper into the ocean. I swallow so much water that my brain threatens to explode. My eyeballs bulge and my chest swells alongside my pounding heart. The swelling doesn't stop. My hand reaches toward the darkening light of the sun against the sea's surface. Those fingers of mine close. And so does my hope.
Hey sci-fi horror fans, it's Thomas. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Craving for another scary story? Click on that video on your screen. Until next time everyone, and remember, stay cosmic.